First of all, there's been a number of misstatements and outright falsehoods made by Mr. Steve Greenberg. It appears to be amateur hour here in Cook County. First of all, Mr. Greenberg's personal attacks on me and my clients, he's called all of the women victims liars, are outrageous and completely unprofessional. Mr. Greenberg also seems to not recognize what double jeopardy really is. None of the counts that have been alleged against Mr. Kelly involve double jeopardy. He also falsely suggested in court this morning, as he did last night and previously, that the videotape that we provided is the same videotape depicting the same criminal acts at issue in the 2008 trial. That is an outright lie. Mr. Greenberg knows that the tape at issue does not involve the same acts at issue in the 2008 trial. As I referenced yesterday, that tape, which we provided earlier this month, includes two scenes shot on two separate days at Mr. Kelly's home. It does not include the same footage at issue in the 2008 trial. The basic law of double jeopardy does not prevent Mr. Kelly from being charged for other acts separate and apart from those with which he was charged with in 2008. Any basic criminal defense lawyer and even many non-lawyers understand that concept. Mr. Greenberg's client is in a fight for his life. Mr. Greenberg needs to pull his head out of his ass and start defending his client as opposed to making personal attacks on me and the victims in this case. If he continues to antagonize me and the victims in this case, Mr. Kelly is even in more trouble than he already is, and he is already in an insurmountable amount of trouble. I'm going to take questions.
Any reaction from the Clarys as far as seeing their daughter inside the courtroom today and attempting to contact her?
Well, it's a very emotional moment for them. I firmly believe that their daughter has been brainwashed by Mr. Kelly and his handlers. I think it's disgraceful that Mr. Kelly came here today, had his enablers and his handlers come here today with an eye towards keeping their daughter from them, from communicating with them. As they attempted to communicate with her in the courtroom, they moved the daughter away from them and shielded her from her own parents. It's an absolute disgrace. They brought those two young ladies here today for the cameras. They brought them here in an effort to send the message that all is well with Robert Kelly and there's nothing untoward about his conduct. It's an absolute disgrace, and it's a disgusting display what we witnessed here today. These young ladies should be permitted to speak with their parents, period.
Mr. Greenberg questions the tape existence as he wasn't allowed to see it. What is your response to that?
Well, obviously the tape exists. I mean, we heard about it in court. I've been talking about the tape for some time. I don't traffic in nonsense and innuendo. If I say something, you can take it to the bank. And I've been talking about this tape for some time. It clearly exists. We turned it over, and it depicts exactly what I said it depicted yesterday in detail. There is also a scene on the tape during which Mr. Kelly engages in choking the 14-year-old victim, as well as other simulated sexual acts, which I'm not going to get into the detail of because they're so abhorrent.
What are your thoughts on the bond? $1 million bond, he's $100,000 to get out. It was reduced.
Well, obviously, we wish the bond would have been much higher or there would have been no bond. I'm not surprised by the result, but I will say this. If Mr. Kelly and his enablers and his handlers engage in the obstruction of justice and witness tampering that they did back in 2008, and if we catch wind of it, we're going to bring it to the attention of the state attorney's office, and we're going to hope that his bond is withdrawn and he's taken back into custody for the duration of the matter.
Is that a real a concern of yours in there would be intimidation or witness tampering because what you may perceive is that's what occurred the last time you were here?
Well, it's not that I perceive that that's what happened the last time. I know for a fact that that's what happened the last time. There's no question about it. There was rampant witness intimidation, obstruction of justice, paying witnesses, destroying evidence, tampering with evidence. The list goes on and on. That is a significant concern that I have in connection with this case, that my clients have in connection with the case, and we're going to do everything in our power to guard against it, to make sure that 2019 is not a repeat of 2008, and the trial on these very serious charges is not rigged. Anything else?
Michael, you were talking about the witness tampering from 2008. I know you said you had a lot of evidence of this. Is this going to be brought to the forefront in the hopes of possibly even retrying? Is it possible to retry that case based on the information that you have?
I don't think it's possible to retry that case, but I think that it is possible that there may be obstruction of justice charges ultimately brought against Mr. Kelly or certain of his enablers, handlers, managers, attorneys, and the like. He was not able to accomplish this on his own. He had a lot of people that assisted him, and they did so for one reason, and it's a disgusting reason. It was all done in the interest of money, to make sure that the golden goose was not killed, and effectively that each of these people, these managers, agents, attorneys, and others, continued to get their payday while they looked the other way, while this predator molested and sexually abused underage girls. And it's absolutely disgusting to do that, let alone in the interest of money. One more question. Thank you.